Good morning, and thank you for joining us on FRHSTV at home. I'm Tim Quinn.
And I'm Ryan Lucht.
So, Ryan, you excited for our very first episode of FRHSTV at home?
Yeah, I'm actually very excited to get into all the new stories we have here today, including the new grab and go meal plan.
And interviews with Mr. Subak, Miss DeSantis and her mom, and Mr. Birch in the library.
And we also have a segment with our own Anthony DeFilippo.
Indeed, a lot to look forward to later on in the show. But for now, this is the news. The Franklin Regional School District, along with Met's Culinary Management, have started serving meals to any current Franklin Regional students or children age 18 or under who live in the Franklin Regional community. You do not need to be enrolled in the free and reduced lunch program to receive these meals. The grab and go meal distribution started on Monday. The distribution takes place each day from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. near the patio entrance of the Franklin Regional High School. Meal request forms and menus are available on the FR website. If you have any questions, you can contact Linda Miller at lmiller@frsdk12.org. Many of you are searching for things to do at home. Right now is a great time to escape into a good book. There are several ways you can access some books from the local libraries. Our own Olivia Ciotti recently talked to Mr. Birch to find out how to do that.
Hello, I am here with Mr. Birch, who is the Franklin Regional High School librarian. We wanted to talk with him briefly about how students can access materials they may need. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Birch.
Hi, Olivia. Nice to see you.
So first, how are you doing, and what are you and your family doing to pass the time during this quarantine?
Well, we're doing good. There's four of us here, my wife and my 8th grade son and my 5th grade son, Oliver and Cooper Birch. We're doing well. We're trying to stay busy. When it's nice out, we take a lot of walks. We walk our dog. And, we've been getting some reading done, which is unusual for us. So that's nice. But yeah, we're hanging in there.
Yeah, it's good that to get outside, even though we can't go far. So it's good that you're letting your dog out and you're reading, catching up on some reading during this time. So can you tell us about what library resources are all available for the students online?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be able to tell you all about this. Thanks for asking. We have quite a few resources online. Many of them we already had, and we've just sort of enhanced them because of the coronavirus quarantine. Let me take you all to the library website. Oh, let me show you first, by the way. This is a shortened URL for the library, bit.ly/FRSH library. The library also has an Instagram. If you want to search us up, we post news about what's going on with the library on the Instagram. First thing I wanted to show you is we now have a link so that you can connect with me immediately. You can click right here on this bubble and be connected with me. So if you ever have any questions about using any library resources, or if you have questions about, any resources that we can share with you, please connect. I'll either be there right away, or, if I've stepped away from a computer or something, I'll get right back with you. We also have a book club right now. Right now we're reading Sherman Alexie's The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. And if you click on this book right here, it will take you to our ebook provider, and you can check that out. And to join the book club, if you click on the books here, it will take you to Google Classroom, and you can join the book club. And furthermore, if anyone would like to start their own book club and have it run through the library Google Classroom, let me know and I can set that up. The most important tool that I want everybody to know about is our ebook collection, because, obviously we can't use print books during the coronavirus quarantine, but we do have quite a few ebooks and audiobooks that you can check out. Mac and Via is our provider. So if you scroll down to here, Mac and Via eBooks, you click on it, it will take you to the sign-in. You type in your school, and then this is very important. You use the same login that you use when you want to access your Chromebooks. You log in, and it takes you to our book collection. So we have about 3,000 books available. You can filter a search by ebooks or audiobooks. Up here, you can search for specific books. And if you've never tried an audiobook, I really recommend that you give it a try. You can download them onto your phone and listen to them whenever you'd like. And it's a little strange at first, but I really enjoy listening to audiobooks. Tons of ebooks available. If you scroll through, let's say you want to click, take a look at 1984 by George Orwell. You click on the information, and it gives you a little blurb. It gives you some information about the book. If you decide that you do want to read it, make sure that you click checkout, because that actually makes it yours for the next 2 weeks. If you just open it and you start reading it and you put it away, when you come back, someone may have checked it out underneath you. So if you do want to keep the book, click checkout, and then it's available to you across all your devices. Speaking of devices, if you have a tablet or a phone, you can also download the Mac and Via app and then access these books. And whenever you check out books, when you come back to the app, you want to go to your backpack, and you click on your backpack and go to checkouts, and it shows you the books that you have checked out. Let me show you just real quick. We have a couple of other things I want you to know about. We got a new database called Infobase, which is really good for history and literature. We have the usual databases that we've had all along, the SIRS Knowledge Source, the Power Library. And these are all resources that if you're using your Chromebook, you probably do not have to log in at all. If you have any login problems with SIRS Research or SIRS Knowledge Source, this is the username and password, but you shouldn't even have to use that. I think those are the most important things that I'd like students to know about. You know, we have this unique opportunity to get a lot of reading done, which, you know, high school students are so busy that, you know, I think now is a time to really take advantage of getting some independent reading. You choose what you want to read and you read it on your time. So that's pretty much it.
It's amazing all the resources that you have for students available online.
Yeah, and I encourage you, there are some other things I didn't cover. So I encourage all students to go to the Franklin Regional High School Library website and explore and click around, because there's a lot more as well.
And then I know that I've seen a lot of like online drawing and acting courses free, along with baking and like museum tours. So other than what you mentioned, are there any other interesting resources that you found that students may be interested in, maybe even if it's off of the Franklin Regional Library page?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple I've been messing around with lately. And in fact, now that you mention it, maybe I should link some of these to the library page. There's the Library of Congress website, which you can just simply type into your browser, Library of Congress, and it takes you to their site. Their site, you could literally get lost in it for days. They've got an almost infinite amount of interesting things to look at. They have these vast digital collections with primary resources. They have old maps. They have old newspaper articles. It's nearly infinite what they have. So, you know, for any intellectually minded or historical minded students, this website's a lot of fun to play around with. And I really like geography and maps and places. So there's this game that I discovered a couple of years ago, and I was playing a little bit of it recently. It's called GeoGuessr. GeoGuessr. And what it does is it uses Google Earth to randomly place you in a certain spot in the world. And you have to use clues to guess where you are in the world. And sometimes you guess and you're way off and you don't get any points. Sometimes you make guesses and you're very close to where you are in the world and you get points for that. So for people who are interested in what the world looks like in geography, GeoGuessr is a lot of fun. So those are the two that came to mind when you asked that question, Olivia.
Okay, well, we thank you so much for your time. If you are definitely looking for something to do during quarantine, or you just want to read some new books, you should definitely check out the website. And along with the other websites that Mr. Birch mentioned, we hope that you and your family continues to stay safe, Mr. Birch, and hopefully we will see you very soon.
Okay, Olivia, thank you so much for having me on your show.
You are welcome. Now back to Tim and Ryan.
Thanks, Olivia. The Murrysville Library also has thousands of ebooks that you can check out. You can visit www.wlnonline.org to find out more. We recently found out our Science Bowl team, who recently competed in the National Science Bowl of Western Pennsylvania regional competition. The team took third place and won $500 for the school. The high school team joined 40 other groups from across the region. The FRHS team included junior Max Wang, sophomore Irvish Jain, sophomore Parit Yadav, freshman Darius Colangelo, and freshman Pernil Varshney. Congratulations to them.
Some other good news. Our own FRHSTV staff recently won several awards from the Robert Morris University's Digital Media Arts Contest. Congratulations to Elena Devlin, who won first place for animation, Ryan Lucht, who won for his short films in video as art and digital cinema categories, and, not to brag, but I also won in the digital cinema contest with Ryan. And also members of our FRHS-TV staff won awards for the documentary about Turner's Dairy Farm and for our daily announcement show. Congratulations to everyone. In a time like this, we are really looking for some good news in our communities. Recently, our own Anthony DeFilippo was able to capture a unique Murrysville neighborhood celebration.
Hi, I'm Anthony DeFilippo, coming to you from my own home in Murrysville, Pennsylvania. Today, I will be covering a very heartwarming story where our neighborhood came together to bring some kids some birthday joy. Because of the outbreak of the COVID-19 epidemic, people across the nation are required to stay indoors, making the streets seem as bare as the toilet paper stock. When Governor Tom Wolf extended the stay-at-home order to April 30th this past week,
I will be pushing back the end of the stay-at-home order to April 30th.
some of the kids in Murray Highland Circle in Murrysville who had April birthdays saw their hope for a birthday party or even having friends over disappear. But when all seemed lost, MHC resident Kristen Luffy, who has a daughter with an April birthday, did a little research.
So all I did was a quick Google search and to see how other families and things were celebrating. And I noticed there were a lot of parades and celebrations and virtual Zoom meetings and things like that. But I stumbled upon a reverse birthday parade and I thought it would be perfect.
What is a reverse birthday parade, you ask?
Well, we actually did a reverse birthday parade, which means we had a series of kids, I think about 4 or 5 in our neighborhood, Murray Highland Circle, that all celebrated birthdays at the beginning of April. And since we are all social distancing, we tried to find a fun way to celebrate them and celebrate our neighborhood, and a safe way to celebrate them and celebrate our neighborhood. So we had organized a reverse birthday parade, which basically means the birthday child travels around the neighborhood in a car, and the friends and neighbors line the streets and make signs and had balloons and banged pots and pans and things like that in order to honor and celebrate the birthday kids.
Not only did this bring the kids a special day, but it also brought the kids a lifetime memory.
Somebody had recently written on our Facebook page, it's a memory of a lifetime. And I agree. I think that, sorry, I'm getting choked up.
It's all right. It's all right.
But I think at a time like this, when things are so hard and distancing is so new and different to everybody, that this gave such a positive turn on not only the kid, but the neighbors in this point in time, that this too shall pass, and what a great memory to celebrate their birthday.
You can just take a listen for yourself at how well the neighborhood came together to make the kids feel loved. My little brother even made a surprise of his own for me. The bottom line, there can be bright spots even in the darkest of times. For FRHSTV, I'm Anthony DeFilippo. Stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, Anthony. We know many of you have a lot of questions about upcoming events and other items dealing with school. Our own Tim Quinn recently had a chat with our very own Mr. Suvak to find out some answers.
Hello, everyone. I'm here with Mr. Suvak. We want to talk to him briefly about a few questions that students may have. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Suvak.
Timmy, it's my pleasure. It's great to see you.
Great to see you, too. First off, how are you doing, and what are your family doing to pass the time today?
Well, it's been busy work-wise. Thanks for asking. Fortunately, all is as good as can be given the circumstances in the Suvak house, and I certainly hope that's the same for all of our students and their families.
So glad to hear you're doing well, Mr. Suvak. And I know you may not have all the answers to all the questions I'm going to be asking today, but I think it would just be great for the students to kind of hear what you have to say about them.
Sure.
Do you have any news on how finals could go if we do see a return to school, or if we don't, how finals could be treated?
It is our belief at the high school, given the fact that the state mandated testing was canceled, that final exams, irrespective of whether we're able to return or we remain working virtually, will not occur this year as they have in the past. We don't want education to be a source of stress to kids. We want it to be a positive, connected learning experience. So that was the overwhelming consensus of the faculty, and I support that 100%.
All right, thank you. Do you have any news on how prom could work this year, or if it's going to go ahead at all?
Here's what I can tell you: that all of the people involved with planning, the spring events, want them to go on, and for our kids to have those experiences, and for you guys to have those experiences. Our current makeup date is later in May. Mrs. Trimnell and Mrs. Musial are looking at potential later dates, but we want, as much as is possible, once we get the okay from a health standpoint, everybody to be able to have those experiences that are so much a part of being high school kids. And it really breaks our heart that you're not able to experience those things now, but we're going to do, as a high school and a district, everything in our power to make those things work.
What should juniors or any upperclassman who hasn't taken the SATs plan to do, seeing as a lot of the SATs for the spring were canceled recently?
As of right now, it's a great question. As of right now, anybody that had registered for a prior test and wanted a refund could have, or still can, I believe, from the College Board, request that refund. The June 6th test date is still on, as we sit and speak, or as we sit here today. So if anybody's interested in registering for that June 6th date, that's still available. Obviously, the College Board will make that call when the College Board decides to make that call, and they are exploring other opportunities in the summer for any student who wants to test that didn't have the opportunity as a result as a result of the stay-at-home orders. So I know the College Board wants kids to be successful, and they will certainly be publishing those dates. And as soon as they do, we'll push it out through our counselors, Google Classroom, and the website, and any way we can communicate those with students and families.
Awesome. I'd probably say this is the most important question, especially for the seniors. What is the plan for graduation this year?
Well, here's what I can tell you. My heart breaks for all of our kids, but it breaks just a little more for our seniors. All of us with the district are going to make every effort to hold commencement in a manner that we always have. Currently, the June 5th date is still on, but we are working to have potential dates later in June, potential dates later in July, and it's again, health, safety, and welfare number one. But we want all of our graduating seniors to be able to have a ceremony that they deserve. When that happens, how that looks, still to be determined. But it is numbers 1, 2, and 3 anytime we meet as a staff or we meet administratively as to how do we make this happen for our kids once we're given the okay to do so. So for the members of the class of 2020, no, we haven't forgotten about you, and we're going to do our best. That's a collective as a building and a district to make those things happen for you.
That's very good. Thank you. And finally, do you have anything to say to anyone around the community who's watching the show today?
Well, excuse me. Number one, from a sincere standpoint, I hope all are well and safe and doing as well as can possibly be expected. To our students and our families, that's all of our wish from the high school, and certainly mine personally. From a school standpoint, I miss you all. I wish I was, paging students over the intercom because they weren't where they're supposed to be during QRT or any of the other things that I do every day. I've missed seeing kids and fist bumping kids, and none of us got into this line of work to be online educators. You all didn't sign up to be online students. We're all stuck in this together. But one thing I do know is that if, as I shared with a bunch of students the other day that I was talking to virtually, I don't want to be going through this with any of you. But since we have to go through it, I'm really glad that I have you as our kids. So what I would ask is we all want to be back together soon. The best way to do that is follow the advice of the healthcare professionals, social distance, all of those things that we're all being told. If we do that, we're far more likely to get back together and be able to have a prom and be able to have spring sports and be able to celebrate commencement. So I know our kids, you guys are great. I have 2 of my own that it's a struggle keeping them in the house, but the best way we can all get back together is if we all follow the guidelines of the health professionals so that we can all get back to normal, which is what we all want. So on behalf of myself and all of us at the high school, please, please, please take things seriously, continue to take things seriously so that we can all get back to normal, so that we can all get back to doing what we want to do as students and what we want to do as educators. It's certainly not doing an interview from my dining room table.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sudak, for being here today. We hope you and your family continue to stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Hey, Timmy, one more thing.
Yeah.
Even from home during a global pandemic, and of course, go Panthers.
Go Panthers. That's right. All right, let's head back over to the studio for the rest of the show. Thank you so much, Mr. Sudak.
You bet.
I don't know about you, Ryan, but I'm very interested to see what the Franklin Regional students are doing to pass the time. And if you listeners are interested in sending in short video clips of things that you're doing while at home, you can send your clips to shstv at franklinregional.k12.pa.us. That's shstv at franklinregional.k12.pa.us. We'll try to air your videos in the next few weeks.
We know most of you are trying to find the good in what is happening around us. We wanted to feature one Franklin Regional teacher who is working with her mom on creating masks for people who need them. Our own Elena Devlin recently had a chance to talk to Miss DeSantis and her mom, Lena Vetter, about their project.
Hello, I'm Elena Devlin, and I'm here with Mrs. DeSantis and her mom. We wanted to talk with them briefly about a project that they have been working on. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us. Good to see you.
It's good to see you guys too. So, first, Miss DeSantis, how are you doing? And what are you and your family doing in the past time?
I'm doing well, thank you. A lot of cooking, that's for sure. A lot of good recipes coming out of my kitchen. Taking my dog, Bowie, on walks. And that's it. Playing a lot of board games, things like that. Doing a lot of art myself, so it's been fun, been creative over here.
Fun. Alright, so with the coronavirus outbreak, we know that you've taken it upon yourselves to do something unique to try and help out. Can you explain what it is that you guys have been working on?
So I'll start off if that's okay. I've been, well, actually, I have a handbag business, and I have hundreds and hundreds of yards of fabric that that were already available in my home. So that and the elastic and other items that you would need. So I just mobilized into a face mask making factory since March 20th, maybe. So that's what I've been doing.
Wow, that's really unique and creative. I love it. And who have you been donating these masks to? So with the new recommendations from the governor, it seems like everybody's looking for masks right now.
Right.
And are they also available for purchase?
So with all the fabric that I had in stock and the elastic, I already had all of my supplies. I was pretty much involved with donating masks to frontline workers, like people that work in healthcare, like nurses, people that work in home healthcare, who are also nurses, people that work in the food service industry, and people who are immunosuppressed. So at first I was really just donating them, and then I thought, well, it would be a nice way for them to actually donate to another outreach. And so I thought right away of the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. And so I said, I'm only accepting donations for the food bank at this time. So 1,000 masks later, I think I've raised like $1,200 so far. So that's one of the nice things that has, come from, this face masking temporary or hopefully temporary business. But nonetheless, it's been a good thing. I can help the healthcare workers protect themselves, and I can help the food bank, feed the hungry. So it's been a really nice pastime for me.
That's really
and
incredible.
Franklin Regional has reached out asking if my mom could help. And because she was so overwhelmed, I decided to kind of jump on board. And from knowing how to sew from my mom, all these years of her sewing dance costumes, and now with her bag business, I've learned how to do that as well. So I kind of helped assist, and we were able to donate 100 masks to Franklin Regional to help out with the grab and go lunch program that started on Monday, and other like janitorial staff and central admin, people who are there daily, kind of helping out, prepping the school and keeping it clean.
And might I add, when she used to help me with my handbag construction, she understood the concept of assembly line sewing. And that is what is needed to be able to make masks, in huge quantities at the same time. So one of the things she understands is this. So this is like a string of 20 masks. The flavors of the day today are the Pittsburgh Penguins and watermelons. And so they're not cut apart yet, but this is what I did this morning, and they just need the elastic and then they're done. But they're already spoken for, unfortunately. It seems as fast as I can make them, they disappear out of my sewing studio. So, I guess that's a good thing. But
yeah, that's really incredible. And so how long does it take to make just one mask?
Assembly line style, it's hard to say, because you basically have to take the number of hours you're sitting behind your sewing machine divided by however many you made. But if I had to estimate, I would probably have to say like 3 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot. And so finally, do you have anything you want to tell people about how they can help you in this endeavor?
When I first came out, I put a Facebook call out on my Facebook page for people to donate elastic, and I got a lot of elastic from many people, but it doesn't last real long. It's worth its weight in gold right now, I must admit. I have ordered 300 yards of elastic, and Amazon just notified me that it should be here anywhere between April 13th and 20th. But the ones that I'm working on right now, I have just enough elastic to finish. And so production will stop to a certain degree. Without the elastic, I can't finish them. So, all the pieces work together to make the mask.
It's funny because usually I'm asking her for the supplies, and now I have a roll of 25 yards of elastic, so she'll text and call me. I need your elastic.
I
I'm running
know.
out.
I'm like figuring out. I have to make 100 masks for Franklin Regional, so I'm multiplying 100 times 14 is 1,400 inches, and a 100-yard roll is 3,600 inches. I'm like, you have 2,200 inches that you're not going to be using. How many can I have?
Yeah.
And the masks, when they're done, just so that you have a visual, Elena, is they look like this. They're folded into pleats. Mom, do you have any samples as well? There we go. Yeah. So they're folded into these little pleats on the side so that they can stretch across your face. And then we put in the elastic on either side, and it's thin elastic. Usually it's like either about a quarter of an inch or the same kind of like elastic that you use for hair ties. And that way you can like hook it over your ear and it'll protect you. And then at the bottom, there's a little opening insert so that you can put in extra protection with coffee filters, things like that.
Yeah, so are there any certain guidelines or requirements to make like a standard mask?
So if you go on the internet, or you can find that there are all sorts of patterns for masks. There are suggestions for people who don't have elastic and what alternatives there are that you can like create a mask without elastic. It requires a little bit more work, and the output of mask wouldn't be that high. But if you go on Facebook and just Google mask makers, they're everywhere. There's organizations that, there's a Facebook group that has organized a bunch of maskers to make them, and then you can send them to the locations that are in need. So that's one way. But I'm so filled with requests, like I couldn't even like satisfy their need, because I have so much need in my own community and the surrounding hospitals. I mean, the first couple of days, it was like a McDonald's drive-through here. I had a table set up outside. I had a bin set up for donations. People were lining up like car after car. I think one day I designated as Jefferson Hospital Nurses Day. And then the other day somebody came and picked up 30 masks for St. Clair Hospital nurses. So it goes on and on and on. And, just the cries for help. And, when people like inbox you from your Facebook page and they tell you their stories, and it's just heartbreaking. Like the Little Sisters of the Poor, I thought I was done, and then Little Sisters of the Poor called, and they're like, we need 25 masks, and the Little Sisters of the Poor are like octogenarians, and the women and men that they take up care of at their nursing or home or assisted living center in the north side, they themselves are octogenarians. And so how can you forget them? So you just keep making them and making them and making them, and you're keeping people safe and protected, and what more can you ask for right now? So
Wow. And that is really incredible. And thank you so much. And we hope you and your family continue to stay safe, and we hopefully will see you really soon.
Thank you, Elena.
Bye,
All right.
Elena. Thank you.
Bye. All right, let's head back over to the guys.
Stay safe, everybody. Send us some pictures or videos that we can air. And if you're interested in seeing some things happening around you, please email us and let us know.
Tune in next Friday at 1 p.m. for our next episode.
But until then, I have been Timothy J. Quinn. The J stands for just stay at home.
And I've been Ryan Luck. Have a great Easter, everybody.
See ya.